Hello everyone, myself Prashant Kohli, Assistant Professor in Chemistry, MEP Samaj, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Nangaon, Nashik. Friends, in the last three videos, we interacted some basic and important topics related to the coordination chemistry. In these sessions, we have covered some topics related to coordination chemistry, like different terms associated with the coordination chemistry, Werner theory, effective atomic number, types of ligands on the basis of density, and many more basic terms associated with coordination chemistry. Now, one of the important topic in terms of coordination chemistry, that is IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compounds. In this lecture today we will discuss about the IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compounds. Before moving to IUPAC nomenclature, one should have a basic idea about the types of ligands on the basis of charges. So, in the last video also we interacted various ligands and their charges. So, charges will be helpful, charges on the ligands will be helpful to calculate the oxidation state of central metal ion. So, this is the list of neutral ligands in the first column: CO, carbonyl, pyridine, then amine, aqua, triaphenyl phosphine, ethylene diamine, etc. And in the second column, the list of positive ligands: nitrosonium, ammonium, hydrazinium, hydronium, etc. And simultaneously, frequently we will observe that the negative ligands are most of the time important in case of complexes, because their charges are contributed for finding the oxidation state of central metal ion. So, negative ligands are of various type, like X minus, that is halogen family having one negative charge, then NO2 minus, SCN minus, CN minus, OH minus, NCS minus, sulfato, oxalato, carbonato, hydrido, etc. So, their charges are very important while considering the oxidation state of central metal ion. So, IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compounds, general points for IUPAC nomenclature. So, what are the important points one should know? First is, one should have the idea that how to calculate the oxidation state of central metal ion, because while naming the coordination compound we have to put the oxidation state of central metal atom in the bracket in Roman letters. Then second, knowledge of charges present over the ligands. If the ligands are neutral, then no question of charge. If the ligand is negative, then what negative charge is present on the ligand, whether -1 or -2, that will be contributed to find the oxidation state of central metal ion. And ultimately one should have the awareness about the latest and recent rules of IUPAC rules for coordination complexes. We will see some basic rules of IUPAC regarding the naming for coordination complexes. In the first rule, there are various charges of the complexes, like positive, negative complexes. So, probably when there is a positive charge on the complex will end with the name ion, and the ion name will be put after some space in the complex. For example, we have this example CONH363 plus. In this complex, the net positive charge is +3 on the complex, and the complex will end with the name as given below. So, there are 6 amine ligands ammonia in terms of ligand is called as amine. So probably 6 amine ligands are there. So obviously it will be termed as a hexaamine cobalt 3 space ion. So whenever there is a positive charge on the complex, while giving the name to that complex, it will end with the name ion. So that is the important point in terms of complexes with a positive charge. Second, names of the ligand should be written alphabetically. Now it is possible that particular complex has more than one ligand and the ligands are of various category, but according to IUPAC rule, the name of the ligand should be written in alphabetical order A, B, C dash dash. Now we have this simple example, that is cobalt triamine ClBr I 3 plus. Now this is a in this complex the 3 plus charge should be omitted. It is by mistake it is included in this example. So there is no charge on this complex. In this complex there are 3 types of ligands with the different names: amine, then chloro, bromo, iodo, etc. So if we consider the alphabetical naming for these ligands, so initially we should write down the name of amine followed by bromo, then chloro and iodo. So according to alphabetical system, the name of the complex will become, as there are 3 amine ligands, so triamine, bromo, chloro, iodo, cobalt 3 ion. So after in this complex, as there is no charge on the complex, the ion should be omitted. So naming of the complex will be only triamine, bromo, chloro, iodo, cobalt 3. So that will be the name for this complex. Now third rule is that the oxidation state of central metal atom in the complex should be written in Roman letters only. So we know that the Roman letters, while considering the oxidation state of central metal atom, if there is a +1 oxidation state, then write in Roman letters as 1. If metal has +2 oxidation state, then write in Roman letters 2. If metal has oxidation state +3, then write in Roman letters +3, etc. So these are some rules. Prefixes of multiple ligands. So what are prefixes? For example, if complex has many multiple ligands present in the complexes, same ligands, so what should be the prefixes? If the 2 ligands, same ligands are present, we use bi. For 3 ligands we use tri, for 4 ligands tetra, for 5 ligands penta, etc. Now this is the example cobalt hexaamine 3 plus. In this example we can see that there are 6 ligands, hence the term hexa will be used according to IUPAC suggestion and its name will become hexaamine cobalt 3 ion. As there is positive charge on this complex, the complex will end with the name as ion. So hexaamine cobalt 3 ion. So as 6 number of same ligands are present, we use hexa for this case. Now whenever there are negative ligands in the complex, the negative ligands have a very characteristic suffix. We write O for negative ligands. If the ligand has a negative charge, for example Cl minus, that its name is written as a chloro. Every negative ligand has a characteristics end, it ends with the suffix O or letter alphabet O. That is a rule of IUPAC. Similarly, we can see that there is a cyanide ligand. In terms of ligand, it is called as a cyano. Then C2O4 2 minus is referred as oxalato and CO3 2 minus is referred as a carbanato. So you can see that all these are the negative ligands and they are ending with the alphabet O. So that is again rule. Positive ligands ends with the characteristic suffix, that is RUM. If the ligand is positive, then according to IUPAC suggestion, it ends with the characteristics letter RUM. For example, H3O plus name as hydronium, NH4 plus ammonium, etc. Complexes with negative charge. Now this is very important point. Those coordination complexes possessing the net negative charge having characteristics ending. So we can see that those complexes having negative charge, we should write the name of metal. At the end of that metal name, we attach this prefix ATE. So how to write the name for those complexes which carries a net negative charge? For example, FeCN6 minus is the complex. This complex has a net negative charge, hence the name will become, as there are 6 cyanide ligands. So in terms of ligand, cyanide is called as a cyano. So for 6 hexacyano, and negative charge on the complex and ends the metal Fe as ferrate, plus 3 is the oxidation state of metal Fe. Similarly, CrCl6 minus is another example, and its name will become, as there is a net negative charge on the complex and chromium has plus 3 oxidation state in this complex. So ultimately its name will become hexachlorochromate 3. So this is a simple naming for every complex which carries a net negative charge. It will have a characteristics end as ATE. Now there are some examples or some terminology for those metal present in the complex having negative charge. So simply we will write the naming for those metal. For Fe, that is iron, we write down the ferrate. For Ni, nickel, nickelate, Cr, chromium, chromate, Co, cobalt, cobaltate, Ti, titanium, titanate, copper, cuprate, zinc, zincate, etc. So it is very compulsory when the complex has a net negative charge, the metal name should be end with the prefix ATE. So that is the important point. Ligand possessing the prefixes such as di-tri. So there are number of complexes in which ligands have already the prefixes such as di, tri, etc. in their names inherently. So there are several ligands which possesses the prefixes such as di, tri, etc. in their names. How to do the nomenclature for these ligands? For example, CrEn thrice 3 plus. Now this is the example where ethylene diamine has a prefix di. Now those ligands which have prefixes di, tri already in their names, according to IUPAC we have a different terminology to write the names of these complexes. We can see that in this example the ligand already has a prefix di and it is repeated thrice. Hence while naming the ligand we can write tris ethylene diamine, because the ligand is repeated 3 times. For that purpose we will write down tris, and already the ligand has prefix ethylene diamine, so that is why we use the term tris. If we write down triethylene diamine, so it will not correct. So correct answer is to use the prefix tris before the name ethylene diamine. So this type of prefixes are also applicable in triphenylphosphine and another ligands which possessing the prefixes di, tri, etc. For example, FePH3 thrice Cl3. In this example, ligand triphenylphosphine has already a prefix tri, hence its name will become trichlorotris triphenylphosphine IN3. So you can use the following prefixes for those ligands which having the prefixes like di, tri, etc. 2 ligands with prefixes di, tri, we use bis. 3 ligands with prefixes di, tri, etc. we use tris. So ultimately for 4 ligands tetrakis, 5 ligands pentakis, etc. So there are also another examples where the bridging ligands having a different nomenclature system. We will discuss with example in the next session. Thank you very much.